Today's guests are a band of three dudes who found each other in New Orleans looking to write some kick-ass music. They take inspiration from all different genres. They'll talk a little bit more about it today. Please welcome today's guests, Lip Candy.
What up, what up?
Whoa.
Thank you.
Welcome, you guys. So I first heard about you guys and saw you at a mutual friend's birthday party where you guys played.
Yes.
And it was not a regular birthday party. It was a full stage. It was the whole thing.
It was a whole show.
There was dancers.
A lot of
all
fun.
of it.
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot about the burlesque part.
There was
Yeah.
burlesque.
There was nice
the whole thing.
Dancing
You know,
ladies.
one of those girls almost kicked me in the face.
At the
what?
show?
Wow.
Yeah, because I was upstairs getting putting some equipment away or something. Coming down the stairs, did not realize that the burlesque show had started.
No
They're doing their
shit.
whole thing on the catwalk and stuff. She's like falling down, sliding down
Yeah.
or whatever, and I'm walking down the stairs, oblivious to the whole thing. She almost kicks me in the face. I'm like, whoa, and everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, I did not know I was not supposed to be here.
That'd have been a fun way to get kicked, though.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah, right?
story.
That'd
And
been
that's how you
fun.
start a fucking podcast.
There you go.
Totally.
So I saw you guys play, and I got a very similar energy from you guys that I do a lot of my favorite bands, which is if we're on fucking stage, there's nothing stopping us. And you guys play like that's it. Like that's all that if you don't play right, it's done. I mean, you guys fucking just went hard as shit. You have the energy of I don't even know. I mean, what is it? Just energy drinks? Holy shit. It was unreal.
It's just raw passion, baby. It's just what we
love
love.
it.
It's what we love to do, you know? And that's always been kind of a thing about our band is no matter what the show is, if there's one person in the crowd, if there's 1,000 people in the crowd, we're going to give you everything we got no matter what.
And that came through. I mean, it was a birthday party. You guys, it's not like you had to do the craziest shit in the world. Yet I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. Like I should have paid more. So how did this start? How did you guys meet? It was in New Orleans, correct?
It was.
Beautiful. So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so you know, we all were in New Orleans for college. 2017, fall of 2017.
Yep.
And we started the band. Philip and I, we go to Loyola, or we went to Loyola.
Killer.
And he was at a college across the street called Tulane.
Mhm.
And so Philip and I actually met through a class project, and
It was very coincidental. We had the same like intro freshman project where we had to like together accumulatively
we had to like develop an artist.
Develop an artist, which is funny
Oh, that's
enough.
sick. So what were you in school for?
So we were in school for popular and commercial music, both me and Thomas.
Beautiful.
What's funny is that Lip Candy, believe it or not, you know, Thomas obviously had the idea. We all wanted to have a band together,
Yeah.
but it's funny. I forget that Lip Candy was actually built upon one of the other group projects, like freshman, like you know,
Crazy.
that was one
Yeah,
of the.
I was
That's
an
how it kind of
artist
started.
for one of the group projects.
But it was funny because we were one of the only two people in our group project that like didn't give a fuck. So we kind of like
we
clicked that
did
way.
such little
We
work.
didn't give a fuck, and everybody
But
else
that's
was
how we
stressing. But that's how we clicked. And
Everybody's
then,
got their own takeaway from school.
Yeah.
If you know, like some people, I don't think they need to go to school. Some people need the experience of dropping out so they can know that they're really in whatever they're doing and they mean it.
Yeah.
And some people just need the opportunity to meet people during a class project to then
Yeah.
be able to go
Yep.
right.
meet the right people.
Exactly.
And so yeah, that's how Philip and I met, and then we kept seeing this guy outside of like bars and other shows at the in the area, because there was kind of a really niche rock scene in New Orleans. Like it wasn't huge, but there was one. So we kept seeing this guy around.
It was small enough, and I remember first time I saw these guys, they played a show in the former version of Lip Candy, and it was for a mental health fundraising event,
Sick.
and it was they booked all these bands to just be like bands to play in the background. They had all these booths you can go to and learn about all these different organizations in the city, and the bands were just kind of like backing track.
Yeah.
And these guys, so I was a part of the fundraiser. These guys go on and they just go fucking nuts in front
Fuck
of
the backing
in
track.
front of literally no one.
Yeah.
Because
the
there's
mental
no
health
audience.
like festival. Yeah,
No,
no,
it wasn't intended to be an audience. It was just like for people to listen to as they walk around a festival. And these guys are going nuts. And I remember I was in the cafeteria and I heard them start playing. And I like ran down because I was like, oh shit, this this goes hard. And then I talked to him after. I was like, hey, I want to work with you guys. I like do open mics at someplace. That never happened. But I kept seeing them around town, just like outside bars and stuff. And finally, Thomas came up to me and was like, hey, we need a drummer, which I thought was hilarious because they had never seen or heard me play drums.
No,
They
we
were
just
like-
kind
Just had
of
a good feeling.
stalked his
Intuition.
Instagram a little bit, and we were like, "This is the one."
Yeah, we were like, this guy seems like a vibe. And
So then, what we did is we took him out to an Indian restaurant, and we kind
we
of
wooed him.
we
went on
wooed
a
him,
first
we
date.
wined and dined him, and simultaneously tried to see who he really was and if he
Yeah.
was ready for it.
Yeah.
See if he can handle the hot food.
And
We
he
went on a
was.
first date.
Mhm.
That's
And
what
then-
it felt like.
And then, literally, the next week, we threw him into like a
Like
show
4
that he's
shows.
got. Yeah, he had to learn like
Check this out.
2 different sets.
We needed our because our original drummer who was kind of just a fill in, you know,
Yeah.
we didn't have him anymore. So we were like, we need this guy. So a couple weeks after we hung out, just maybe a couple times, we're like, all right, we need you for a sold out emo night show, which we played in New Orleans. We need you. And then next week we opened for Doja Cat at a college festival, huge. And then a couple weeks later,
weeks
we
from
flew out
then-
here to like open up for this pop punk band's album release show. So
Yeah, we were like, so you
That's
also
how-
need to get you also need to be able to like get flight tickets. Can you afford flight tickets to like go out because we have a gig in California?
Hey,
too.
do you
He was
have-
like what?
A drum kit? No.
Yeah,
Okay, we're gonna figure that out.
Exactly.
So wait, you guys were just starting, didn't have a drummer, a legit drummer that was part of the band, and you were opening for Doja Cat, playing emo night and flying out to LA. How the fuck did that happen?
it was
That's what I was wondering, man.
it was crazy. We you know, when I started the band, we kind of had it started out with me and a couple just like placeholders who like, you know, they didn't want to do it long term, but they're like, okay, we'll play with you for the time being.
Totally.
And so we just started gaining a ton of traction really fast. And so I'm you know, I found these guys because the other guys started to kind of drift away because you know, they just didn't want to do it as much as I did. And so by the time that we had already gained the traction, you know, these guys joined in the nick of time, and we were there to just keep the ball rolling.
It's a funny story on my end at least because keep in mind like we're in the same group of that same class and we meet like once or twice a month to make sure that like because we have like a final project at the end. That's like what the whole class is about. So as I'm meeting up with this group every once or twice a month, I'm like catching up with Thomas. You know, he invites me out to his show. I go to the show. Guy's busting ass, like just fucking crazy. So what do? I run up to him. Keep in mind, I went to college, and ever since I was a kid, like I played guitar. I majored in guitar at college. I pull up to him. I'm like, "Yo, bro, if you need another guitarist, like a rhythm guitarist, dog, like I got you, bro. Like I fucking love everything that you guys are doing." Fell in love with it like the second like I saw it
Absolutely.
live. I was moshing the whole time, you know. He's like, "Nah, trying to keep this like a 3-piece." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, no, understandable." And then fast forward like 3-4 months, the end of the semester, he's like, "Yo, dude, like," I was asking him, I was like, "Yo, what's up with Lipkin? You guys got any shows going on?" He's like, "Yeah, we do. I'm gonna be honest though, like, can you play the bass? Our bass player kind of fucking isn't cutting it right now."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I can try." I invite Thomas to come to one of the gigs that I'm playing with some shit band that I'm playing in college on guitar.
Sorry to the shit band.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Support
But
local music.
yeah. But he came out, he saw it, and then that was that. But I switched my whole setup. I sold my guitar, or not my guitar, but my amp, all my pedals, bought a bass, switched over to bass in college.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. The bass fits me better.
I think you were meant for the
I
bass,
was meant
man.
for the bass.
I'm
You go
so
crazy.
this whole season is about at what point you were really ready to fucking bet it all. And I mean everything, whatever it takes to get to where you need to go. What you just said, you sold your guitar amps. You did everything you had to do to make sure when you were on stage, not only were you the best bass player out there, but you had the gear you needed to do and you were willing to take it seriously right away. That's huge. You have to be willing to sometimes kind of get rid of these preconceived notions of what you're supposed to be doing
Right.
and put yourself in whatever position is going to get you to where you want to go the fastest and with the people that
Right.
you need to be doing it with.
You want to know something even crazier? So at the end of the semester, keep in mind, at the very beginning of the semester, I got arrested. Now, don't worry. Like all my charges were dropped, the whole thing. We're in Cali now, so it's totally fine to say this. I got arrested because I was caught by a bike cop in the middle of a transaction with a dealer because I was just picking up some weed.
It
Right?
was just weed.
Exactly. So I end up spending a night in New Orleans Municipal, freshman in college. A lot of fun.
It's pretty rock and roll.
Yeah, pretty rock and roll. I get out the next night. Dude, it was pretty crazy. They were like calling me Justin Bieber and shit. It was absurd.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, no, it was absurd. But I get out of there, and the thing was, when by the end of all that, my charges were dropped because he forgot to file a police report in the end. Whatever.
Meaning he just
But-
took the weed and ran.
Just took the weed. It was more for like a dealer that they pinched, and they kind of felt bad for me.
Uh-huh.
But I still had to pay like $7,000 in lawyer fees
Oh,
because
shit.
I had to hire an attorney to
Yeah.
represent me in court. I wasn't gonna. So when Thomas originally asked me, "Yo, bro, like I need a bassist," I was like, "Bro, I'm the guy, but here's the thing. I need to take a semester leave because I'm $7,000 down. Like
Yeah.
I need to pay for that. So I'm gonna be gone for the next 3-4 months. But the second I pay that shit, I'm back here."
And I held out.
And
I
he
was
held
like,
out.
"All right,
He got a
bet."
fill in. And bro, like I was, keep in mind, like when I left college, I was a pretty chunky guy. Came back.
Yeah. Oh my
I ended up
gosh. There's
losing
that
all
too,
that
yeah.
weight. Like literally, bro, like this band was my saving grace in and of
Mhm.
itself. Cause I was like, before Lip Candy, I was like, fuck it. I already know that, I got to take a semester leave. I'm probably just not going to ever go back. I'm probably just going to go be like some accountant or some shit. I was like in the deep, but
Mhm.
they fucking held out. And then
Crazy.
that's where that's why we're on the,
Some shit's just meant to be.
for real.
And if you're trying too hard to plan shit, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because then you're skipping the stuff that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You guys were supposed to be sitting, right here or on stage together, whatever the situation is. You're supposed to sell your bass or sell your
Or-
guitar
yeah.
amp and get a bass.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that shit was supposed to happen. And in a few years from now, when you can buy every guitar amp you want because you sold it originally,
Right.
that's when it all becomes super clear and you're like, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like you holding out is what happens if you didn't? What happens if you are now going through
Who knows?
5 more bass players because you didn't because you couldn't hold out for him?
Right.
Or what happens if you guys didn't hear him jamming or he didn't hear you and run down? Like
Mhm.
it's such a wild experience. And last season was all about who you surround yourself with and how it affects your art. And clearly it affects your art pretty fucking heavily when your art is made up of the people that you surround yourself with. What is it like being a band in LA in a time when bands are kind of making their comeback?
Well, that's actually a perfect segue into our upcoming EP, which I think I feel like this is an appropriate
Appropriate
time
place.
to
Appropriate
say the
place.
name because we haven't
It's
said
a
the
nice
name
little
yet.
stage set.
But
We haven't ever
premiere
been.
video.
Yeah.
So-
Transition possible.
So that sentence was what inspired our next EP name, which is called "Where Did All the Bands Go?"
Yes.
And we basically just feel like rock has made such a comeback, obviously recently,
Which is
and
so exciting. Don't
Right.
get us wrong.
But- we don't think, I have to word this carefully. I see all these rock acts, but it's really like one dude who doesn't play any instruments, no shade, but doesn't play any instruments, hires a backup band to play all the music, and then it's just one dude running around with the mic. And like that's totally fine, but like, we grew up at least watching bands do rock.
Yeah.
And we grew up people playing their own instruments. Like if you hear a guitar on a record, it's somebody in the actual act who's playing it. And so we're so stoked that rock is back and it's being done by some really awesome people. Like I said, no shade to solo artists, but there's not enough band love, there's not enough
Absolutely.
representation from bands. And so yeah, we just want to know, where did all the bands go? So that's a
that's point that I feel like all of us, like since we were kids, that's what we've aspired to be.
Absolutely.
I remember catching myself in like English class when I was supposed to be writing a paper on my laptop. I was watching Guns N' Roses, like Tokyo 1980. It was like, and that's what we've always loved. And like to see it coming back, but not being able to, at the same time, like. I don't want to refer to like super old bands such as like Led Zeppelin and such, but like half the time, like what made me really love certain bands or certain really certain bands were because of the certain playing styles of it was iconic.
Totally.
Like, oh, that's Slash, that's Axl Rose, that's Duff McKagan. You look at Led Zeppelin, that's Jimmy Page, that's Robert Plant, that's John Bonham,
Yeah.
that's John Paul Jones. And it's like everybody liked them for their own reasons. They could, and it was cool because it was live, it was real, it was
had character.
authentic,
Had
it was
Now
there.
Now it's like you are funneling the genre of rock through how you make pop music by going to a producer and then they produce the track and it happens to sound like a rock song, but they're making it for a solo artist or the
Right.
solo artist produces it themselves.
Yeah.
But since the music industry right now is so tied into social media, it's like such a cult of personality.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To sell your music, you have to be like this singular person and people have to like you. And now people don't really care about, it seems like the market at least has kind of stopped caring about bands and groups of people.
It's very solo mentality, I feel like, or like overpopulated. Like you look at, Brockhampton isn't a thing anymore, but you've got like BTS.
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
like
so many people.
There's like fucking 20 of them. It's just like, Jesus Christ. How do
And
I even
it's-
keep my eyes on you guys?
And it's formulated.
Right.
The
Super.
thing that I find is a lot of people had a bunch of shade when pop music started to be written by writers' camps, when there's 6 people in the room. And some of the best pop music that's come out of the past 15 years was 20 people or 10 people in the room.
Yeah.
And I think that's because the more people or the more different perspectives on a song or on whatever art you're doing, the more different perspectives of what is great will come out of it, And what you guys did is you got that writing camp. You decided who's going to be in that writing camp and you guys are staying in it. Like it's no different in the sense of the songs, if it's written by the 3 of you, that's 3 different perspectives from 3 different families growing up, from 3 different places with all these different, ideas that kind of culminate into the song. And I think people forget that pop music stems from the idea of bands. It stems from people working together to create one thing. And I think when you can do it with people that are going to show up every day and they're going to be the same people every time, you start to get these little hints about each other and you start being able to figure each other out. And if you're not writing to the best of your ability, maybe they realize it's because you're having a shitty day, not because you're not a good songwriter.
Right.
Like you understand each other. And the comfort of having 2 people or, for you guys, having 2 other people around you at all times who don't only understand you as an artist, but understand you as a human, that's what's going to keep you guys being able to understand how to handle the road, how to handle people saying no, how to handle bad deals. You're in it together now.
Mhm.
And that, I think, is such a big thing that the world was missing, is it got so self-centered for so long.
Totally.
And like you were saying, I don't think you guys could do what you're doing right now to the same extent without the triangle of the 3 of you.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And going back to the original question, which is like being a band in the scene right now of
Yeah.
LA, personally, I'm thankful that I've always aspired to be in a band from the get, because that's just kind of like the mentality I've had, which is nice because it always, like, if we're all in the same mindset, it brings camaraderie to the table. But also the city's rough, man.
Brutal.
Like it will
Yeah.
beat you down. I went from so happy to being here to like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. But
It's a tough place.
yeah, but having these guys here too, like, dude, if I was a solo artist, I don't even know how the fuck I'd
Yeah.
get up
Not
every
do it
morning.
as a solo
I don't know how I'd
artist.
get up every morning, because if it wasn't for them, like it being like, all right, let's go, we got shit to do.
I mean,
It's like,
that's where we have to give props to the solo artists.
right.
Like some of the people we've met here, it's like they maybe fall into the camp of don't play their instrument or work with like all these producers and writers, but like they're doing it on their own, and that takes like some guts and confidence and
It's a different thing.
to
It's a
be
whole
out here and
nother
be like,
beast.
this is who I am in my own skin. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think people are ready though to see people work together.
Yeah.
I think people are sick of, we were fucking locked in our houses alone. People don't want to hear the word alone anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
People don't want to be alone. They want to see people. They want to see family. They want to see community. And they want to see 3 people who are all very good at what they do, putting it together and making something that's even more special than they could do on their own.
Mhm.
And I think, like I said, watching you guys play was all I needed. Like I'm sold. I'm a fan. I'm happy
Oh,
that
yeah.
you guys are on the podcast because I like you as people. But I'm a fucking fan of your music with
Appreciate
or
it.
without the podcast.
Thank you.
And the way you guys performed, we brought up Beauty School Dropout earlier, who were on the podcast recently. You guys have the only people that I've seen who play like they're ready to fucking like it's this or death are bands right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That says something, you
Yeah.
know?
Because it felt that we were in that position, literally
Yeah.
just not even like less than 6 months ago. Like we, like rewind a year ago at this time, there was no surefire, because at this point we were already playing like it was our last show before that stuff happened.
Mm.
Now
It's like,
we're playing like it's our last show.
Yeah.
Did you hear they're closing Viper Room?
What was
They're closing Viper Room.
Oh, I just heard about that yesterday. It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Absolutely
Actually,
trash.
I think I
That's
heard about
crazy.
it because you guys posted it.
yeah.
Did you guys
Yeah.
post it on your
Yeah, we
Instagram?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Ruined my
an,
day.
Yeah.
Sad as fuck.
That's
Still.
an interesting point that you bring up, though, about how the people going the hardest on stage are the bands, and I think a big part of that is because when you're a band, you all have to like fight together to like stay alive in this industry, and when you go through stuff together, you guys all express that like the same way when you step on that stage because we've all
Absolutely.
had the same fight. Like if like a solo artist and then a hired touring guitarist, they have not had to go through the same thing to get to that stage. The touring guitarist just got a phone call, said, learn these songs, we'll see you on stage on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But when it's a band, it's like we all had to load up the gear together. We all had to, like we've all been through the same thing. And so you
Yeah.
see that when you see us interact on stage.
Yeah.
Pressure creates a diamond. And,
Totally.
And
It does.
if you have pressure from 3 different angles, you're probably gonna get that diamond a little quicker and you're gonna get it more compact. Like if one of you is on stage going crazy and 2 aren't, the 2 are gonna look at that one person and say, I see what I gotta do. I gotta go up higher. I have what
Exactly.
it takes. And he knows it. He's working his ass off. I can't let him down. And that's huge too. When you guys see each other doing what you love, how can you not fucking go nuts? How can you not have the best time ever?
Yeah.
Like you're doing what you want with people that you found that you really enjoy and people who have the talent level that you all have individually. Like that's fucking huge. And that's going to create long-term success. It's a lot it's easy for one person to find one person to believe in them and put them on for a quick song. For 3 people to do together, you have to have so much experience and so many stories that come together to create this one thing, and so much to pick out and so much bullshit that you don't use, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. Totally.
And you got people to tell you, yo, that sucks. Like I know you can do better. And that's got to feel really good too when you're in there and you all get that same feeling, that high when you're all your blood starts to boil because you're like, this is fucking it. Like that's got to
Yeah.
feel great.
Yeah.
That feeling actually has been kind of the filter that we've used for this EP. Like we've only put songs on this upcoming record that we had that blood boiling feeling about. Like if we didn't make it in the studio and we weren't going, holy shit, this fucking slaps.
Yeah.
It's not on the record.
Yeah.
And I would say for just about every song we've had that moment.
Yeah.
When is the EP coming out?
We don't have an exact date yet, but it's probably going to be. My guess would be like early June, early to mid June, maybe.
So
Summer.
you're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so later at the end of this month, we're finishing all the recording processes. We've already had all the drums tracked. Alex did a great job.
Thank you.
Almost have all the
Very
guitars
hard.
tracked.
Oh, dude.
And we need to get his bass down and my vocals down, and so that's all going to happen this month. And then after that, it's just post production.
I love it. How do you guys play better? Do you guys play better when you're doing dubs, or do you guys play better when you're all plugged in at the same time?
We do our separate takes. That's how our producer works. I'd be down to try something like that, but it's more modern to plug everything individually.
Yeah, we're also just kind of unfortunately not in the budget space to where we could just kind of like rent out like a nice studio or whatever for the day. Like our studio that we use is lovely, but it's also just kind of like more efficient to just kind of with the money that we have for the day. It's just like, all right, let's cover as much groundwork as we can. Let's just like knock that out, boom, plug in, knock that out,
Yeah.
boom.
Amps are loud.
Yeah,
Drums are louder.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what can you say about the EP? Do you guys know how many songs it is?
It's gonna be 6 songs.
It's perfect.
Song.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
And where do you guys feel as far as how it is similar to your song, like what you're putting out right now? Is this a few steps different? Is this like a progression you're going towards, or is this going to be similar to what you're making right now?
It's similar to our most recent single.
Sick.
All the songs before that, there's definitely, you know, you can listen to the songs we have out right now, and you can hear them and go, oh, well, that makes sense leading up to what we're about to put out.
Yeah.
Straight Jacket, our most recent single, is definitely like the most similar vibe to what's on the EP for sure.
It's hard, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh,
You guys killed that shit.
That's our newer stuff. That's what we're trying to do. Go a little bit harder, a little bit more grunge elements.
Our newer stuff is definitely an evolution. I know that's pretty, you know, cliche. A lot of artists say that, but it is really us kind of harnessing our sound of what Lip Candy is, right? You know, because that was our big goal of this EP. We're going to put out a body of work that represents us. What is that going to sound like? And right now it is very similar to Straight Jacket. The attitudes in the EP are very similar relative to Straight Jacket, as well as just, you know, the motives of where did all the bands go.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of tood. Some of those songs are stinky, man. So they are real stinky.
Yeah.
But
That'll be a trip to see live.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to play
so
that.
excited
live.
to play this.
That's the thing, man.
live.
Because like for us, it's not even. We just cherish that live performance because
that's what keeps us going.
Everything's out. We don't care that because to us at least it feels like it's almost contagious.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going so damn hard, everybody else is like, oh, they're definitely not thinking about shit other than this. Like, I'm gonna join them, you know. And then it's like,
And that's the point of going out and seeing people play,
Right.
Is so you can escape life as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, like I loved going to shows growing up because when I was at the show, that's what I thought about, and that's it. All the other bullshit is gone for a minute.
yeah,
And if you guys are experiencing the same thing while you play, that's only going to heighten that feeling for everybody else. You know, like if you guys are bored on stage, everybody else is going to understand that, and they're going to feel it, and they're going to match your energy.
exactly.
But if you're
Exactly.
fucking going crazy, and I saw you playing bass, you're getting low.
yeah,
Spread
pretty
eagle.
low.
Dude, I love it.
Getting pretty low.
You should
Pretty
see the memes our fans make about that.
Oh, I couldn't
about
even
how low
imagine.
he gets doing the straight splits on stage.
Yeah, no, it's
pretty good stuff.
Limbo.
me and
Limbo.
Phil injure ourselves a lot. Like
Yeah, we
every
wake up
show.
pretty sore the next day.
It's
I
pretty
find
bad.
myself getting jealous of them a good bit because, like, as the lead vocalist, like, I have to be a slightly bit more reserved, like, because I'm kind of tied down to the microphone, at least during the singing parts.
Yeah.
So I can't always be going.
That
Going
shit
fucking
crazy.
nuts.
I
Yeah.
can obviously when I'm not singing, I'm right there with them,
Yeah.
but I can't. You know, I have to tone it back a little bit.
Balance.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you guys are going crazy, then you hold that front spot and
Totally.
and you keep that part stable. You guys are going fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's you know, you learn each other, and you guys know each other so well right now, and in 5 years it's only going to be closer and closer and closer, and eventually you guys are going to have families that know each other, and that's you know, like, it's such a special thing that you guys get to wake up and know that there's two other people always who are thinking about music on the same level as you, and who want it as bad as you, and who will make sure that you're okay every fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what the whole band mentality is about. It's you find your family and you make music with them.
Mhm.
So before we wrap this up, I'd like to go through and will each of you just say a little thing that you would recommend to a 15-year-old kid who's sitting at their house right now and wants to be sitting where you're at.
Yeah. Just do it, man. Just don't care about like what your mom might say. Like seriously, like don't think about what your mom might say at first, or what your friend might say at first, or what people are gonna think. Just fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
Just go talk to that guy, ask him to go jam with you, and take it from there, man. Because that's the beauty of music. Like, and really, if you don't even know how to play, just pick up a guitar, look up your favorite song on YouTube, try your best to learn how to play it. Take it from there. It's just doing it, taking action, and just
Love
trying your best.
I love it.
Yeah, I would definitely just have to echo that. Like, don't hold back at all. And like, if you really want it bad enough, you will do whatever it takes, and you will find a way. Even if you don't know how, you will find a way. And you just can't hold back. You have to, you have to put everything you have into it. And, I say that very intensely, but it doesn't feel, because if you want to do it bad enough, then it doesn't feel like some giant struggle. I mean, obviously it will feel like a struggle, but you know,
A little less friction.
right? You're excited to do it. You want to do it. You know, you want to have, you know, those moments where, you know, like even us today, like, you know, we still have those moments where maybe we get doubtful or whatever, but at the, you know, if we're all being honest, we know deep down that it's going to work.
Fuck yeah.
And so
it's working.
yeah, totally. And yeah, just kind of, yeah, just what Phil said, just fucking do it, you know,
Yeah.
just
Love
stop thinking about it and just go.
Yeah, you just need to have faith in yourself. And I mean, for me, you know, just do it, just stick with it, but also find people like these two guys for me to support you, because I know I had moments of doubt, and these guys helped me through those moments, you know, and that's what it's all about, being in a band, finding people that are crazy enough to have the same dream as you and to drop everything and do it together.
You got to be crazy.
Yeah, you gotta be
fucking
fucking wild.
nuts.
Like
Yeah.
the
Not
three of
smart.
us,
We're
I
not
mean-
smart people. We're nuts.
we're smart, but we're crazy,
We're
dude.
pretty loco.
Like I mean,
Talk about full sending something.
the
You
shit
have
you
to be
have
out
to
That's
do.
the thing, though, and the last thing that I would like put as point of reference is that if you want something bad enough in the universe, if you really dedicate your life's work towards just that one thing, it'll work out. It'll work out. It's not going to be easy. You got
gotta give up the rest.
sacrifices. It's going to be hard, but you got to give up everything else.
Yep.
But if you really want that one thing, like for us, it's just playing those shows left and right as much as we can, you know, doing this stuff, you know, not having to work a shitty 9 to 5 at the same time.
It's huge.
And that's going to happen one day. Like, it's not going to happen tomorrow, right? But it might.
Little
Day it will.
little story to I know we're about to wrap up, but like just to echo that, like here's a perfect example, like of sacrifice. We had sessions last month with some artists who like it would have been stupid for us to say no,
Mhm.
you know, and so I was trapped at a job. I was bartending, and I couldn't. They wouldn't let me off, despite the fact that I had picked up countless amounts of shifts for these people. I've done them so many favors. Like there was at one point where like 70% of the staff like was out because they all had COVID, and
You're busting your ass.
I'm busting my ass, and so I couldn't get off for this shift, and I just left. I was like, all right,
Straight
I'm
up
gone.
though,
Later.
what
And I went to the
matters the
session.
most, and how badly do you want it? If you need something, if somebody's pushing you underwater and you can't breathe, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight your fucking way out.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the air you need.
Mm.
That's all you're doing.
Right. And
Exactly.
I'm jobless now and my wallet's hurting, but we had those sessions and now we have some kick-ass songs.
Absolutely.
And
really do.
Yeah. So you just gotta say fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck it.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on here. I've been really excited for you guys to come on for a while. Ever since I saw you guys play, I was like, I need to talk to these fucking dudes. You guys
you
are
for
killing
having
it.
us.
I'm a huge fucking fan.
Likewise,
You got my
brother.
support until the end. I love what you
Appreciate
guys
you,
are
man.
doing. Thank you, Jack K, for connecting us.
Yes.
Yeah, of
thank
course.
you. Thank you.
And
Love
to
to-
everybody listening,
I'm Phil.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Alex.
We are Lip Candy, and this is an
the
experiment.
hell yeah.
Whoa.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
The experience is the experiment.